Hello, everyone. This is Jimmy Cultist, back again with another exploration game tutorial. But before we start, a little aside, I'm actually running out of ideas of what needs to be covered for an exploration game. So if you could help me out in the comments by making suggestions, things that are applicable to an exploration game, and things that are applicable to other types of games. We'll just save them up for later because we intend to cover platformers and other things. So, just a little side note for the time being. Anyway, let's get on to the subject of today's video, which is facial animation. I feel like it kind of ties into our subject of dialogue and cutscenes that we covered last time, I believe. We're not exactly going to put this in that format. We're just going to be doing a quick little demonstration of how you can do it. And for this little demonstration, I prepared 2 voice lines in advance so that we can show you a few techniques for facial animations. But for the time being, I'm going to show you what you can do using keyframes. Set them to linear. By the way, I might also be using an action recorder because there's some things I forgot to mention about that, some important things that might be useful to know. But for now, we're going to do keyframes. I'm just going to show you real quick how you can do a simple animation. We're going to make his eyebrow raise, and we're going to make his eyes squint. By just grabbing them. You can also resize things. It doesn't usually hurt the puppet that much to do some resizing. I guess this would be a look of what would be the word? Skepticism? We might just turn off the shadows so that you can see his face better. Anyway, all you gotta do, stretch this out. Also, this is a blank keyframe, by the way. You always want them blank if you want them to blend properly and not just end abruptly. I'll show you what it'd be like if we did not have the blend. Just abruptly would slide into place, which is sometimes okay depending on what you're going for. But with a blank keyframe set to linear blend, you have a smooth transition. Alright, so that's one way of doing things. But real quick, I'm going to cover something about the action recorder. Set it to blend. That way we got this properly. All you gotta do is click on the things you're gonna be moving. Oh, we got some kind of problem. Oh yes. Another thing you want to do is don't record on a timeline with these. Record separately because it'll move ahead depending on where the playhead is, and that's not really desirable. You want your base animation at the beginning, and it should be the position that everything is naturally. And I think we're going to be moving the nose, cheeks, and the lower jaw, and the brows. Maybe even the ears. And just in case, we might even just record the hat. Now, one thing that you should do right off the bat, double tap on these. And you may be wondering, how do I open this up? Well, it's quite simple. You just, while you're recording, press L1 and X, and that allows you to open up this and move these frames around and edit them. But the main reason I'm going in here is because you've got to turn this on. This is called smoothing, and it will vastly improve animations that you make inside of the action recorder. To make them more smooth, and just generally a good idea. Now that that's done, all the future keys that we record in here will be smoothed. Alright. I should have mentioned that last time in the crowbar video, but unfortunately, I forgot. I'm gonna do an expression of terror, perhaps. Making the pupils smaller is an easy way to project terror, I find, generally. And we're going to do one tiny frame more, where they are like jittering or whatever, like his lower jaw and his brows. Move his lids in just a little bit. Now that we've done that, we can just scope in here, and we're going to copy out a few of these this part can get a bit arduous, but just want to create a quick little animation for demonstration purposes. Now we'll select all these beginning ones so that we have a seamless blend. Oh, you can also stretch this thing out a bit. That might help. Let me show you how to do that. Just grab X at the top here. And now we can see all of our frames in one big fell swoop. And copy them out. And we'll give our animation a little test. It's going to be naturally set to loop, but if you want to set to play once or sustain, that's your business. Kind of weird. It's an expression, though. Could also be him talking. I don't like you, or something. I don't know what he would be saying. We might as well use this. Let's try it out with one of our voice lines. It probably won't match up, but it's just interesting to think about it. We'll try this pickle one here.
Say what? He was attacked by a pickle.
Like I said, didn't really line up, but we have something that we can do about that. I'm going to go ahead and delete our little action recorded message. And we're going to show you a little alternative method for creating lip movements. You would want to keep this in mind when animating the face to not mess with the mouth so it wouldn't interfere with this. But basically all you got to do is create an animation. Pull the jaw down like so with R2. Lift this stuff up. Just grab onto it. Just take this keyframe, and all you gotta do is go into here, if you're scoping in, which is L1 and X as usual, and go to envelope. And basically what envelope is it sets itself, it's the frequency at which these little, sound spikes, or, I forget what they call them, I'm drawing a blank on it. The waveform? It's the waveform. If you hook that up to a keyframe, it will naturally spike at the right positions, meaning you'll have lip movements like this. Now we're going to have to rewind.
Say what? He was attacked by a pickle.
There you see, looks very natural. Let's try it with this one. Repeat the process, scope in, L1 and X, actually not L1 and X, sorry. L1 and square is what we should be using. It opens the tweak menu. Then just take envelope, connect it to the keyframe.
I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
And there we have it. We're going to add a little animation just to make it seem more natural. We would put that up here. And we're going to try to make this believable. I mean, he said he was sleepy, so just make the brows, the lids tight, droopy. The lids, not the brows. The brows will be droopy too, but that comes later. Widening them up doesn't hurt. Lift them just a tiny bit, evoking some kind of expression. Pull this along here, take the blank keyframe at the end, and let's see how it all plays out.
I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
He does look tired. By the way, there's a little bit of interference in our mic that you can hear, and sometimes you can mitigate that. This isn't exactly an audio tutorial, but I figure I might as well cover this. The EQ filter can sometimes...
I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
You can
I'm so
lessen...
sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
You can lessen certain aspects of the audio.
I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
Sometimes it sounds a little too muffled, though. You have to be careful about that. It's all up to your better judgment and the quality of your recording mic. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I could think of. Oh, there is one other thing we should talk about. And that's the fact that you can actually create, if necessary, you can manually create your own mouth movements without using envelope. I don't consider it desirable in most cases. But if you really wanted to, you could, like, you could create your own, and I'm going to show you how. Basically, you just sort of take these little keyframes, make them pretty thin, and you dupe them out to the areas where there's audio spikes, and lengthen them or shorten them depending on the spike. And the thing will just naturally play through them, the timeline.
I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
It tends to be less blended. It's definitely not like a solution you want to employ unless you want very sharp and distinctive stop motion, like, you know, lip movements.
I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
Although it does help to add slow power up and slow power down. That does seem to make it a little bit more smooth.
I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open. I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
But anyway, that's just a little quick aside. I think pretty much everything you want to create, any kind of animation, should be on a timeline. The timeline is the universal language of the cutscene. You want to always be using timelines.
I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
We could even add a camera if we wanted. And we can set on cinematic black bars, as they say, with the display black bars setting. If you want to open the camera's settings, just press L1 and square. And if you want to set the camera's position, just press L1 and X.
I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
You also want to be aware that when you come into a cutscene or whatever, you want to have some time to kind of load in if this is at the beginning of a level.
Eyes open.
So let's reverse it.
I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
And that's pretty much all I have to say on the subject of facial movements. I think that did pretty well. Facial animations, and you can hook them up to your logic, like if you want an idle facial animation, or anything of that nature, it's quite easy. Let me show you something quick about idles that I like to do. Get rid of that camera. Just turn off the power, set it to loop, go to the idle pose, scope in, L1 and X to edit the keyframe, turn on the power, slow power up and slow power down, and let me show you what this does.
I'm so sleepy I can hardly keep my eyes open.
And when you're moving, it'll stop, but it'll stop very naturally. For instance, let's do it
I'm
during.
so sleepy I can hardly...
It'll pull out naturally, like it'll have a transition as opposed to just being abrupt. Now there's a few other things you want to do. For instance, if you wanted your idle animation to go back to the beginning again, you know, if you didn't want it to just hang there, like it'll just be stuck at that position and then it'll be weird when he finishes sentence. So just stick this in restart timeline, this not gate. And basically what you want is power off, idle pose powers on the not gate.
I'm so sleepy I can hardly... I'm so sleepy I can...
And that'll restart the idle animation loop. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope you found this useful. We're going to give a quick shout out to our monthly supporters on Ko-fi. There go their names. And that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss another video. If you wish to support our earnest insanity, you can check the links in the description to donate or buy merch. Until next time, goodbye.